Okay, what does the river know that I don't? Look, I am your father. Okay, hello, welcome or welcome back to the channel. I thought that today we could do a bit of a weekly vlog. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, it feels like. I don't have any major plans, but I do have stuff that I want to talk about and do this week. It's already Tuesday when I'm filming this, but it's a weekly vlog regardless. I do want to talk about my current read, which is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I am really liking this one so far. Something about it is making me feel like I'm reading a Dora episode, like an extended Dora episode. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm loving the Egyptian setting specifically, and kind of unpacking our main characters situation with her family, because I don't know what the actual synopsis of this says, but in very brief terms, we're following our main character Inez, whose parents have died, and before they died they used to go to Egypt for really extended periods of time and explore basically, but she's not completely sure what their job was. She just knows that they wound up dead and nobody can explain it, so she's stowed away basically and gone to Egypt to confront, or just, I guess, consolidate with her uncle who used to work with them and trying to figure out what happened to her parents. So right now she's in Egypt. I want to say about 50% of the way through it now, because I've been listening to a bit of the audiobook today while I was cleaning and tidying up the house. But yeah, I am really, really enjoying it so far. I don't know if I'm obsessed with it per se, but I do think that the setting is really captivating, and I think once we finally get into the storyline and what actually they're trying to uncover and Inez's role in it, I feel like it could really come together at the end. So yeah, I'm really liking it so far.
If we tried it, we can make it. But don't we ever just take some chances and stop you thinking?
Okay, hi, good morning. Oh my god, I slept so badly yesterday. And now I literally can't lift my right arm, so that's perfect. But good morning, it is the next day now, and I want to do a little bit of a shuffling of my bookshelf, because my red shelf over here is busting at the seams, to be honest. It cannot hold another completed book, and I have a lot of reading plans for this month. So this fantasy shelf that contains a bunch of half-read fantasy series that I'm in the middle of slash never finished kind of vibe, because I'm really not that much of a fantasy reader, if I'm being honest, and the ones that I have read I've enjoyed, but I don't feel like I need them in the room with me. So I'm going to move some of them to the hutch outside that also has some other books that just don't fit on the shelf. Most of them are classics outside, so I guess the hutch will host classics and fantasy books. Okay, we cleared the shelf and moved some stuff over there. So I'm really happy with that. Now we have quite a bit of space. So I feel like now is a good time to give a bit of an update on What the River Knows, because there's a character that has joined the adventure, if you will, and I do not trust her at all. I'm at 60% now. I think 61% is the last thing that I saw on my Kindle. And I just kind of don't believe anything that she's saying or like the narrative associated with her. I think there's something suspicious, and I think we're being purposefully misled with who is evil and who is not in this story. So I'm interested to see how they kind of wrap it up. I'm liking the story, but I do think it is kind of slow. It feels like it's meandering sometimes, and it's not that I'm not enjoying the setting enough to sit in a meandering story. But I wish that it was just a little bit more fast paced, a little bit more adventurous and action focused. But I'm liking it still. While we're on the topic of these shelves, I just counted my TBR, which are all the books on this side of the shelf. Why do I have 52 books on my physical TBR? Oh, I was going to go book shopping this week. I should not be book shopping, but I really did want to go and just see what the bookstore had. Because in my bookstore, I feel like if you don't go every 2 weeks, they could bring like really good books and then they won't be there again ever. So, but no, I am. This is me officially declaring that I will not be buying books until I read at least 10 books off of my physical TBR. I have a lot of really good options on here, so I have no reason. Oh my god, there are also books over there. There are 3 books over there. How much did I say it was? 52? I think it's 52, so it's actually 55. I have a lot of really good options. There are, I'm really interested in this one. I want to read this pretty soon. This is 10 minutes, 38 seconds in the Strange World. I'm really interested in this author in general, but yeah, this one really piqued my interest. There's also one that has been, ow, guys, my shoulder is like really not okay. Um, Life of Pi is a classic or like a modern classic. I would really like to get to this. I've never seen the movie. I think I saw clips in school, but I've never really I've never really like engaged with the story. So I would love to read this. This one, The Frozen River and The Unmaking of June Farrow have been on my past 2 quarterly TBR videos. I need to knock at least one of them off. So yeah, we have some books that we can get off and some books on here that I really think I'm going to enjoy. I need to lock in. We're officially on 76% of what the river knows. And I don't know, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel. I feel kind of bored. And we just got a reveal. First of all, that's vile and disgusting. And I cannot believe that somebody could do that. But I knew. I knew it. I knew it was coming. So I don't know. I just need something exciting, something crazy to happen. And maybe I just came into it with a bit of a different expectation than what it actually is, which is fine. I don't knock the book for my personal expectation, but I did feel like this one was going to be more action packed and adventurous and, you know, unpacking huge discoveries and stuff, which there is a big discovery here, but I feel like the way that it's written and the way that it's described or the way that it's approached, the way that it's approached by the author is just like it's not even that big of a deal. It's just kind of in the background of our characters in a turmoil and I don't know. I don't know. I'm still liking it. I'm still Oh, I hope I wasn't flashing you. Yeah, I'm still enjoying it for sure, and I definitely want to finish it. I'm hoping to finish it. If not tonight, then early tomorrow, and pick something else up before the month is over. But yeah, I also picked up the camera for a very specific purpose. We're getting these drawings here and there in the story, and I'm enjoying them for the most part. But our main male character is being drawn often, and I just I'm sorry. I can't take him seriously. I can This is what he looks like. I feel like that's not cute to me. And or something about it. It's not that the drawing isn't cute, it's that this man, he's not doing it for me. He's not really doing it much for me in character development and characterization within the story either. But these sketches really take it over the take it over the edge. Anyway, that's my update. That's where I got because I saw the picture and I was like, okay, we need to stop. Let's stop with the sketches. Hello for the third time. Good morning. It is now Thursday. I didn't finish my book last night, but we're going to finish it today. However, I did want to sit and talk about some of the books that not books, I'm always talking about books. Some of the movies and TV shows that I've watched recently that I've really, really loved. There have been quite a few, especially shows that I've watched recently that I have absolutely loved. So I kind of want to talk about all the movies and shows that I've watched since January to now. So let's get into that. This segment is going to be a bit long. So strap in, I guess. The first movie that I watched this year was actually I Want You Back, which I have a video where I read books that were similar to movies that I love, and I really love that video. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But I Want You Back actually made the list and led me to a book that I really loved. So that one follows a guy and a girl who both get broken up with on the same weekend, and they basically form an alliance to get their exes back. And in the interim, they fall in love. It sounds cliche, and it was, but the way that it was executed was not cliche at all, and it was laugh out loud funny. It probably is still. Is it? Yeah, it probably is still my favorite movie that I've watched so far this year. I haven't watched that many movies. I think my list here looks like about 8, but I really loved it. It was perfect rom-com. It was equal parts funny, equal parts romantic and heartwarming and perfect and precious. I loved it. Then I watched The Roses. This was Benedict Cumberbatch. This one was interesting. It was, I don't know. It was about a married couple who are basically going through it and trying to make their way back to each other, kind of, but it gets crazy. That's all I'll say about it. Then I watched People Me Meet on Vacation. I have spoken extensively about the adaptation on this channel. I have a video where I speak about that movie for about 20 minutes. So um I'm not going to talk much about it again. I thought it was fun, it was cute, and I think that if you go in with no expectations, that you could enjoy it for what it is. I think that I had a hard time separating it from the book because the book was so recent in my mind, and I also really, really loved the book and the way that the Friends to Lovers was done. I think Friends to Lovers is a complicated trope to really pull off, and especially in movies, because in movies you get a visual of that relationship that they think they don't have, but they really do have. And in books, I feel like the way that Emily Henry wrote it oftentimes just felt like a gnawing thought in the back of their heads, but never really something that they actively thought about or considered. And I don't feel like that nuance was translated well to screen. I don't feel like an adaptation needs to be like a replica of the book. And I understand that there are differences in the types of media, but I don't know. I think a lot of the nuance of the relationship and how it got from one point to the other was lost in the movie, and that's kind of what I was disappointed in. But regardless, I thought it was fine, and I loved both of our main characters. I love the actors, and I thought that they did an excellent job with what they were given. So that's People We Meet on Vacation. Next, we have Project Hail Mary, which is another adaptation of that Andy Weir novel. I read that one. Actually, I listened to that one on audio. I want to say last year, and it was fine. I actually took a really, 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 really long time to get through that audiobook because I just there were parts in the middle or like in the early middle that was like those parts were really, really boring. And the science talk, I'm not really a STEM girly. I'm a literature and social sciences and law type of body. So the science talk was completely over my head. And aside from that, I thought that at the beginning our main character was endearing, but it comes to a point, and then I kind of put it down and got back to it last year. And I enjoyed it. I kind of listened to it while I was playing games on my iPad and stuff like that, and it was fine. I gave it 4 stars. I thought the ending was pretty strong, and the story ended up becoming a bit more compelling towards the end. But the movie, however, that was fantastic. I That was one of the best adaptations I've seen in a long time. I thought that, as I said, I don't need an adaptation to be a replica, and I also think it's easier for me to accept an adaptation for what it is when I'm not emotionally connected to the book itself, which I really wasn't with Project Hail Mary. I was just interested, and I love Ryan Gosling. So I went into it with an open mind and an open heart, and I loved every second of it. I sobbed multiple times. I just thought that they did such a good job at capturing the that interpersonal relationship and how small it felt in like this vast space environment. It felt so intimate, and it it was so good. Ryan Gosling was actually perfect for that role. I actually couldn't picture anybody else doing it the way that he did it, and I loved it. I also thought that they used silence so well. That was one of the main things that I think I took away from the movie when I saw it. I was like, there were so many moments of silence, and I feel like it really lent itself to the atmosphere and like the intensity of the moment and of space. And I just excellent. Sign of the Times by Harry Styles. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, and whoever they are, excellent. Excellent work. I loved it. Then I watched an absolute flop. If I could give it 0 stars on Letterboxd, I would, but I couldn't. So I gave it 1 star. The Time Traveler's Wife. Guys, why did nobody tell me that this was a movie about grooming with Rachel McAdams? Listen, I love Rachel McAdams. chances are if I see her face on a poster, I'll be inclined to watch it. Girl, you got me. You got me. You got me. What was that? Terrible. Terrible. Definitely the worst time traveling romance that I've ever laid my eyes on. Made me feel icky and disgusting from the moment I saw it. And I was really rooting for the characters and hoping that, the grooming situation would be explained. Never was. So, loved that. Then I watched Yumi and Tuscany. Oh my god, can I speak? I watched Yumi and Tuscany. Okay. I watched Yumi and Tuscany with Halle Bailey and what's his name? Reggie something from Bridgerton with my family. I watched it with my mom, two of my aunts, and two of my cousins. I fear that experience and doing it with them elevated the movie in my head. I think that it was fun and I was really happy to support the movie. I love Halle Bailey and I thought that it was sweet. There were some moments of it that were definitely a bit cringe and I wish that we would have gotten a bit more, how do you say it? Like a bit more romance. I feel like we had moments of tension and moments of friendship, but the romance wasn't really there. And tension and friendship are great. I also felt like the love confession was a bit aggressive. And I don't mean that in a black woman or aggressive kind of way. I just felt like it wasn't romantic. So I liked it. I loved the movie overall. I just thought that, there was room for improvement, but did I have a damn good time watching it in cinema? Yeah, I definitely did. Oh, then I watched The Departed with Mark Wahlberg, Leo, Leo DiCaprio, and what was the other guy? Is it Matt Damon? I'm pretty sure it was Matt Damon. Huge cast. I love all of them. I've loved a lot of the movies that they've been in, so I was really excited. And this one was a Friday movie night with my mother-in-law. So we watched it and then she went to sleep, but my husband and I finished it. And she and my husband's grandma were raving, ranting and raving about how amazing this movie was. So we were like, oh, yeah, perfect. I can't wait. Unfortunately, I think this one didn't meet the expectation. So I don't think that it was a bad movie by any means. And I think that if we had gone into it without the hype that we heard, we may have appreciated it a bit more. But I don't know. And then we watched the Star Wars prequels. I had I had a grand old time. I've never seen anything Star Wars in my life. I've actually been actively avoiding it like the plague. My dad is a huge Star Wars guy, not like in a nerdy way, but he just loves movies and he grew up in that time. So he's always tried to get me to watch it, and I was like, sir, does a princess like me look like she wants to watch Star Wars right now? No. But in recent years, I have been expanding my palette a lot. And honestly, since I was in my teenage years, I've been very open to sci-fi and stuff like that. But Star Wars, I don't know, something about it was very intimidating, and I've been avoiding it. But then I watched episode one, and then the day after we watched episode two, and the day after that we watched episode three. I was so hooked. The first one with the world building and stuff, I was intrigued. I was interested. I loved baby Anakin. He was so cute, and I'm also an Anakin apologist. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for him, and I think like especially after having spoken to my dad, who was there, like it was rare he was there. He remembers it. Like he knows those original Star Wars movies. And so for him, I think that he had empathy, but he didn't have an apologist mindset towards Anakin. For me, Anakin is my baby girl. I love him and I feel so bad for him and the way that all he wants all he wanted to do was protect his love. Anyway, we're not gonna get into it. I loved it. I rated episode one 3 stars, episode two 4 stars. What was the last one? Is it the Clone Wars or is that the second one? I loved the Clone Wars because that was a rom com to me. And then what was the last one? Regardless, that one was a 5 star. That was such a good movie. I loved it so much. I feel like that was my second favorite movie that I've watched so far this year. I just thought that it was intense and it was heartbreaking and it was kind of everything that I could want in an epic sci-fi finale to a saga, you know? Like it was so good. I am so excited to continue and see Darth Vader for who he really is, you know? So I did also go into it with a big head and I was like, yeah, I know everything that happens in this in this series. I know everything based on like the little one-liners everybody talks about in series and movies about Luke, I am your father, you know? But I didn't know anything. I knew nothing actually. So if that helps, still watch it. If you are like me, still watch it. It's definitely worth a go. Guys, I'm on chapter 32 right now. I'm 85% of the way through. Okay. And according to my audiobook, I have about an hour left on 2 times speed. But hello. Why are we at a ball right now? I'm starting to get annoyed because the title of the book is What the River Knows, right? We're at the river is the Nile River, and we've made some discoveries. The discoveries have felt like afterthoughts of the plot, and on top of that, every other secret in terms of family drama and stuff have either been very clear misdirections or very obvious. So I'm like, okay, what does the river know that I don't? Because there's literally nothing nothing high stakes, nothing that's making my jaw drop, nothing shocking, just us figuring stuff out like 5 chapters before this girl who is supposed to be really smart and really nosy. So like I mean I kind of understand where some of the hesitation in terms of even conceiving these things as possible would be. But it's still frustrating because it's like I need you to open your eyes, Miha. Like, please, what is happening? And aside from that, why are we at a ball right now? Why are we at a ball? I mean, good for her, I guess. But I need something to happen. I need something interesting to happen before I get like really annoyed at this book because I don't want to be annoyed. I wanted to enjoy this book. And I kind of was. I was enjoying the setting and I felt like I still feel like I could enjoy a story like this. That's kind of like Adora. Like it's about exploration and discovery and family. I got cut off, but I was saying that I feel like I could enjoy a story like this, but I needed to raise my heart rate just a little. I needed to be adventurous and exciting. I don't know, I feel like the author is just chronicling the day to day life of this girl and her inner turmoil and her thoughts and her feelings towards certain things. But even when we're getting some of her feelings, I'm not feeling it. I feel like it's being described, but it's not really. It's not giving depth. It's not giving depth of emotion. It's not translating the seriousness and the intensity of these emotions that our main character is feeling. So I just feel like I'm reading words. Yeah, that's just kind of how I'm feeling. I'm sad because I feel like I could really enjoy a story like this, as I was saying. but something about it just is not connecting with me, and it's not giving me the excitement that I thought I would feel in this story. So I don't know. I just want to be done with it. Am I right?
Again? Bro! Nah, bro.
Bears right now, despite the fact that it's a 47-point lead.
Guys, hello, good morning. I I'm sorry if I look disheveled. I tried to fix my hair because it was looking crazy after I filmed this morning. I've had some filming, some editing, some planning for my wrap up that I'm filming tomorrow, and some other life admin stuff going on today. So this is my first time picking up this vlog, but I did want to come on and say goodbye and give a little outro to this video. However, I do have a bit of a reading update, and I owe you some series slash TV shows that I've been watching, but I definitely think this video is too long now, and I've decided to do like a 6 month mid year complete wrap up of all the shows that I've watched this year. However, I will give you my top three, so I'll give you that in a minute. But I did finish What the River Knows. I gave it 3 stars. I have nothing else to say. I've ranted and raved about it quite enough, and I was just disappointed. It's whatever. I'm so over it. I'm so over it now. But I picked up Life of Pi because, as I said, I'm really trying to take down my physical TBR, and this one is a fairly new addition. I would say that this one is actually my newest book on my TBR, but I did buy it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's not that new. And I'm on chapter 5 so far. I'm really, really liking it. I started annotating it just a tiny bit because I feel like the writing and some of the sentiments in here are really going to resonate with me. I'm liking it. I thought this book has intimidated me, but I feel like I could see myself getting really connected to our main character and really, really feeling connected to the story. So I'm excited about that. I think more so than movies, I've had a really good TV show so far. However, my top three, and I'm just going to list them because, as I said, I'm going to film that video probably sometime in June. But top three in no particular order because I don't think I can. Can I? Yeah, I love a ranking. I'll go from 3 to 1. 3 is Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've never watched. No, you see, this is why I don't rank. Definitely not on the spot either. Third is Reacher on Prime. I have been loving that. I'm not really a gore type of person, like fighting, killing, blood, headshots kind of thing. Reacher works for me. I love it. I think it has equal parts action and violence, but equal parts mystery and heart and humor. I think it's so perfectly balanced. Me and my husband, we watched the first 2 seasons. It's been going so well. I loved it. And then second is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Never seen it in my life. My husband has. I hadn't. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm so obsessed with them. I just think that they are the cutest little things of all time. And I don't know if I would have appreciated it as much if I watched it growing up because I really wasn't a cartoon person. I still am not. This is the actual first cartoon series that I've ever watched all the way through. But I really liked it. So yeah, that's Avatar The Last Airbender. And I saw that the movie got leaked. The new movie with Ang. We're gonna watch that very, very soon. And then number one, which I started actually at the beginning of this year, and then we kind of put a pause on it and ended up picking it back up last month. Shrinking. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not going to get into it because we just don't have the time in this video. But if you take literally nothing else, literally, not even Star Wars, take nothing else from this video, please watch Shrinking. It's so good. It's so heartwarming and emotional and has such a perfect found family and explorations of grief and mental health, but it's also so funny, like laugh out loud funny. It's one of the most perfectly balanced shows, and I think technically it's a sitcom. It's so good. It's so good. And no, it's not a sitcom. I think it's more like a comedy slash drama, but don't quote me on it. I just love it. I think it's so fantastic. And yeah, we'll talk about it more in June. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I've loved bringing you all along just to hear my random thoughts. They're always fun to give to you. So thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.